Did the gospel world's favorite power couple just fall apart on live camera? For 25 years, David and Tamela Mann were the symbol of love, faith, and harmony until one night shattered everything. The same voices that lifted millions in worship are now echoing through the internet in whispers of betrayal, jealousy, and heartbreak. It started with a single live stream, a trembling voice, a half-lit room, and words no one expected to hear. Within minutes, the man who once sang about forever love became the face of public pain. But that was only the beginning. Now, Tamela Mann has finally broken her silence, and her truth is nothing like what the headlines told you. She's revealing what really happened between David and gospel legend Kirk Franklin. The fight, the secrets, and the night, everything fell apart behind closed doors. Was it betrayal, manipulation, or something even darker? Tonight, we uncover the story that gospel music tried to hide the truth that could destroy a legacy built on faith. Because when the spotlight fades, even saints can fall from grace. The gospel world was never ready for this. For years, David and Tamela Mann were the heartbeat of faith-based music, a couple whose laughter, duets, and God-centered message inspired millions. They were the picture of unity, proof that love could survive the glare of fame. But behind the soft harmonies and polished smiles, cracks had begun to show. Cracks that no one wanted to see. Until they split wide open for the whole world to watch, it began quietly, a rumor here, a whisper there. Fans noticed canceled appearances. Tamela showed up alone to interviews, smiling but with eyes that looked tired. David, once the playful husband who never missed a beat, had grown distant on social media. He stopped posting couple photos, stopped promoting her new music, and during one live performance, walked off stage, mid-song. That clip alone went viral. People replayed it again and again, slowing down every frame. "Look at her face," one commenter wrote. "She's holding back tears." Another posted, "This is the beginning of the end." But no one knew how right they were. Because days later, David went live and the world stopped scrolling. Sitting in the dim light of his living room, his voice shook, but never broke. "You can't build a kingdom on lies," he said, looking directly into the camera. "Sometimes love isn't enough." That single sentence set the internet ablaze. Within minutes, gospel blogs, reaction channels, and gossip pages exploded with theories. What was he talking about? Who betrayed who? And where was Tamela? As his livestream spread, one name began to trend alongside his: Kirk Franklin. To the world, David and Kirk had been brothers, collaborators, prayer partners, men who shared stages and testimonies. But insiders claim that the bond had turned sour long before the public ever noticed. One source, allegedly close to the Mann family, said things changed during the Project Grace sessions. There was tension, unspoken words, and too many late nights in the studio without David there. At first, fans dismissed it as gossip. But when Tamela and Kirk were seen together at a private industry dinner with David nowhere in sight, the whispers turned into a roar. Photos surfaced, blurry but damning enough to fuel headlines like "Tamela and Kirk closer than ever." And David Mann unfollows Kirk Franklin after shocking dinner pic. The perfect gospel image was unraveling, one click at a time. Meanwhile, Tamela stayed silent. For weeks, she said nothing. Not a word, not a post. Her silence only made things worse. If it wasn't true, she'd speak up, fans said. Her silence is confession. Every day she stayed quiet. The rumors grew louder. Then, a new bomb dropped. A 15-second audio clip leaked from an anonymous account titled "The Truth He Tried to Hide." It was David's voice, raw, weary, cracking under the weight of heartbreak. "I begged her to tell me the truth," he said. "She said it was just music, but I could hear it in her voice. She wasn't singing to God anymore." Those words echoed across every platform. She wasn't singing to God anymore. To gospel fans, that wasn't just heartbreak, it was heresy. Tamela, the woman whose voice had carried millions to church on Sunday mornings, was suddenly painted as the villain. And then she vanished. No interviews, no appearances, nothing. Her team issued a short statement saying she was taking time to heal, but insiders whispered that the truth ran much deeper. Some claimed she'd left home. Others said David was the one who walked away. Nobody could prove anything, but everyone had a theory. Behind the scenes, Kirk Franklin's camp tried to distance him from the chaos. He released an indirect tweet that read, "Don't let someone else's storm make you forget your own faith." It didn't help. Fans flooded his replies, accusing him of hiding the truth. By the time Tamela finally broke her silence, the damage was done. But she wasn't angry, she was broken. Sitting in front of a plain white wall, she spoke softly into the camera, her voice trembling. "You can love people, you can pray for people, and still end up hurt," she said. "Sometimes, faith isn't enough to fix what fame destroys." For a moment, the internet went silent. It wasn't the confession people expected. It was worse. She didn't name names. She didn't deny the rumors. But the pain in her voice said everything. And just like that, the story shifted again. Was she the victim of betrayal? Or the one hiding her own secret? No one knew. But one thing was clear. This was no longer a love story. It was a war. And gospel music would never sound the same again. The silence didn't last long. Within hours of Tamela's tearful video, the internet reignited like a match thrown into gasoline. The comments under her post split into two camps: those who saw her as a woman betrayed, and those who called her performance a masterclass in manipulation. "She's crying because she got caught," one user wrote. Another replied, "You can hear the pain in her voice. That woman's been through hell." Hashtags like hashtag Team David and hashtag Pray for Tamela trended side by side. Proof that nobody really knew what to believe anymore, but the story didn't stop with her confession. It was just beginning. A few hours after Tamela's video went live, a clip surfaced online that sent shockwaves through the gospel community. It was grainy, filmed on a phone, showing what looked like a heated argument in a backstage hallway. The voices were muffled, but the faces were unmistakable. David Mann and Kirk Franklin. The two men stood chest to chest, arguing, gesturing wildly. Kirk's voice rose. "You think I'd ever disrespect your family?" David shot back. "You already did, brother." Before security could intervene, the video cut out. 15 seconds of chaos. 15 seconds that shattered decades of friendship. Every outlet replayed it on loop. Reaction channels broke down the footage frame by frame, light-reading their words, analyzing body language, debating what it all meant. "That wasn't anger," one host claimed. "That was heartbreak." Others argued it was staged, a publicity stunt for some new project. But as the clip spread, one thing was clear. The bond between David and Kirk was gone, and Tamela was caught in the crossfire. Inside sources claimed the argument wasn't new, it had been brewing for months. One close friend of the Mann family told a gossip blog that David felt replaced. Kirk had been working more closely with Tamela, producing her latest single, and David felt left out of the creative process. It was never about jealousy, the source insisted. It was about loyalty. He didn't trust the friendship anymore. But whispers turned darker as the story spread. Some said there were private messages between Kirk and Tamela, voice notes. Long talks about faith and fear that made David question everything. Then came the leak that broke the internet again. Late one night, an anonymous account posted a 2-minute audio clip with the caption, "The real reason behind the fight." The voices were faint but recognizable. A woman's voice believed to be Tamela's said, "I just wish he'd listen. I'm tired of pretending everything's okay." Then another voice, low and comforting, answered, "You don't have to explain. I get it." It was Kirk. The audio ended there, but it was enough. Comment sections exploded. "That's emotional cheating. That's friendship. That's the proof David needed." Theories poured in like floodwater, drowning every platform in speculation. Some called it AI, others swore it was real. But in the age of digital chaos, proof didn't matter. Motion did by morning. Headlines screamed across social media. Tamela caught between two men of faith, Kirk's betrayal exposed, and David's revenge livestreaming coming? Fans waited anxiously for David to respond. And when he finally did, it wasn't what anyone expected. He went live again. But this time there was no anger, just exhaustion. Sitting outside on his porch, David stared into the night and said softly, "You ever love someone so much that you stop recognizing yourself?" His voice cracked, a man hollowed out by pain. "I gave everything to this family, this ministry, this marriage. But maybe somewhere along the way I forgot that I'm human too." The chat filled with crying emojis, prayers, and support. Even people who doubted him before began to feel his pain. But then he said something that froze the feed. "You want the truth?" he whispered. "The truth is, it's not just about her and Kirk. It's about me. I'm not innocent either." Gasps filled the comments. What did he mean? Was he admitting to something? Before he could continue, the stream glitched and cut off. Fans accused him of deleting it. Others said it was divine intervention. Whatever it was, the mystery deepened. Meanwhile, Tamela posted nothing. No response. No denial. Just silence. Her last words still echoed online. Faith isn't enough to fix what fame destroys. To her supporters, it sounded like surrender. To her critics, it was guilt. Behind closed doors, friends claimed both David and Tamela had stopped speaking to Kirk entirely. "They're done," one insider said. "Whatever friendship was left, it's gone." But even as the dust seemed to settle, another storm was brewing. Tiffany, the YouTuber who'd broken several earlier leaks, teased a new video. Her title alone reignited chaos. The secret files, proof David planned everything. In the preview clip, she held up a blurred screenshot. "Remember the first photo that started all this? The yacht picture? Guess who sent it?" she said, raising an eyebrow. "This wasn't an accident. Someone wanted this story out." She didn't name names, but her smirk said enough. fans began piecing things together. Convinced David himself might have leaked the photo that sparked the scandal. Was he the victim or the mastermind? Had he staged the downfall to control the narrative before someone else could? Every theory sounded possible now because the truth was buried under layers of pain, pride, and performance. By the week's end, what had started as a personal rift had become a full-blown spectacle. Churches addressed it in sermons. Podcasts debated it like scripture. Even fellow gospel artists were dragged into the mess, forced to pick sides they'd never asked to choose. But through all the noise, one haunting question remained. Who leaked the first photo and why? Because if David wasn't the victim, then the story everyone believed was built on a lie. And for Tamela Mann, breaking her silence may have only unleashed a truth far more dangerous than anyone imagined. By the time the sun rose the next morning, the entire internet had turned into a crime scene of speculation. Every podcast, gossip channel, and church livestream had its own version of the truth. Theories clashed like sermons at war. Some swore David had been plotting revenge ever since Tamela's career took off. Others believed Kirk was the true victim caught in the middle of a married couple's emotional collapse. But the question no one could answer was simple. Why did Tamela finally decide to speak now? For days, she had stayed quiet while the world tore her reputation apart. But that Sunday evening, Tamela posted something unexpected. Not a video, not a statement, but a single image. A close-up of her hand holding a microphone captioned with 3 words. It's my turn. The post went viral within minutes. Thousands of comments flooded in half supportive, half suspicious. She's about to expose everything, one user wrote. Or she's about to lie again, another replied. Everyone braced for what came next. An hour later, Tamela went live. No music, no filters. Just her, sitting in her home studio, Bible open beside her. The chat exploded instantly, tens of thousands tuning in, hungry for answers. Her voice was calm but heavy with emotion. For weeks, people have spoken for me, she began. They've told my story, twisted my faith, and decided who I am. But tonight, I'm speaking my truth because silence only feeds lies. She took a deep breath before continuing. There was a fight. There were words said that can't be taken back. But not everything you've heard is real. Not every clip was honest. Her tone cracked, and for the first time, tears streamed down her face. I never betrayed my husband. I never disrespected my faith. I never disrespected Kirk. But yes, something broke between us. Something we may never get back. Her confession was raw, imperfect, and painfully human. You can sing about grace your whole life, she whispered. But you don't really understand it until you have to ask for it yourself. The chat slowed. Even the trolls fell silent for a moment. People felt her pain. But then, right when the world began to sympathize, Tamela said something that flipped everything again. There are things you don't know, she said softly. Things that were done to make me look like the villain. Someone wanted this story to explode, and then she showed it. A screenshot, blurry, but clear enough to read. It was an email thread messages between an anonymous gossip page and a sender. Labeled simply as dm&official@gmail.com. The subject line read, "Drop this at 8:15. No caption needed." The attached file. The yacht photo that started it all, the chat went wild. David sent IT. It was a setup. This can't be real. Tamela didn't say the words herself, but she didn't have to. Her silence confirmed it. I don't want to hurt anyone, she said quietly, but I won't be used anymore. And with that, she ended the live. Within minutes, every media outlet picked it up. Tamela Mann exposes David as the source of the leak. The betrayal no one saw coming. Reaction videos flooded YouTube. Some called her brave. Others accused her of forging evidence. But one thing was undeniable, the narrative had flipped completely. David, who had been the wounded husband, was now the alleged mastermind. And while fans debated his motives, Kirk Franklin stayed silent. That silence didn't last long either. The next morning, he posted a single tweet. Sometimes the devil wears a suit and calls himself brother. That one line broke the internet again. Everyone knew exactly who he meant. Within hours, the tweet was deleted, but screenshots spread everywhere. By afternoon, David reappeared. His new live stream opened with deep breaths and long pauses. He didn't deny sending the email. He didn't confirm it either. There are two sides to every storm, he said, and sometimes the truth gets buried beneath the thunder. His words were calm, but his eyes looked defeated. I never meant for this to happen. I just wanted the truth out. I wanted peace. The chat was merciless. Peace? You started the war? One comment read. Another said, he's broken. Leave him alone. But before ending the stream, David said something that no one expected. If love was perfect, he murmured, we wouldn't need forgiveness. Then he walked off camera, leaving the screen black and silent. By nightfall, fans were more confused than ever. Who was telling the truth? Did David leak the photo to expose Tamela Mann to protect himself? Did Tamela fabricate the email to reclaim sympathy? Was Kirk just an innocent bystander or the spark that ignited everything? And just when it seemed like the storm couldn't get worse, a new voice entered the conversation. Tiffany, the YouTuber who started the chaos, released a cryptic post on her community tab. "You've all been watching the wrong villain." No one knew what she meant, but the comments exploded. "She's about to expose Kirk. She's protecting David. What if Tamela's not innocent?" Every theory grew louder, every truth more twisted. By the end of the night, Gospel's golden family had become a global obsession. Every clip, every quote, every tear was now a weapon. And somewhere in the noise, the truth, the real truth, was lost completely. Because in a world built on faith, even the purest hearts can get caught in the war for attention. And when love turns into headlines, no one leaves you unscared. So now we're left with one haunting question. What really happened between David Mann, Tamela Mann, and Kirk Franklin? Three names that once stood for love, faith, and gospel unity are now at the center of one of the most shocking sagas the industry has ever seen. Was this all a misunderstanding that spiraled out of control? Or has the truth finally been dragged into the light? Was David the mastermind behind the chaos? Tamela, the heartbroken victim? Or Kirk, the silent catalyst who lit the fire without realizing it? Everyone has an opinion, but no one has the full story. Not yet. Every leaked clip, every deleted post, every tearful livestream seems to raise more questions than answers. And the deeper we dig, the more it feels like something bigger is being hidden. Something darker than anyone imagined. Maybe this isn't just about betrayal or fame. Maybe it's about how easily the world forgets that even those who preach about grace still bleed like the rest of us. So, what do you believe? Is Tamela's pain real, or is it part of a carefully crafted act? Did David start this storm, or was he just another casualty in it? And what role does Kirk really play in all of this? The truth might still be buried, but one thing is certain. This story isn't over. Drop your thoughts below. No filters, no fear. Whose side are you on? Team Tamela, Team David, or Team Truth? Tap that like button if you want the next chapter. And make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's coming next. Because in this world of faith and fame, every silence hides a secret, and every secret eventually finds its voice.